Let me just start the live stream. Just give me 1 second while it loads up.
Okay.
Okay, we are live. And so last time, Bhante, we had a question about a particular sutta. And let's see if I can find it. I've lost it. Yes, it was the Sutta on Samyutta Nikaya 2496. And the name of the sutta in English is the self is neither happy nor suffering. And you had mentioned you would comment on this.
Okay.
Actually, Bhante, I have it on my browser. Would you like me to share that screen so you can look at it, or do you have it?
I have it.
Okay.
Okay. This is it. If someone thinks five aggregates, all the five aggregates I mentioned there, form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness. And they all are impermanent, suffering, perishable, bound to decay, to vanish, subject to dispassion, subject to cessation, condition, dependently arisen, and therefore this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Now, when one sees this with wisdom, that person through this, when he sees with wisdom, that person becomes disenchanted with form, feeling, perception, thought, and so forth and so on. And then,
Bhante, I'm sorry, can you share the screen? Some people would like to see it as you explain it. Is it possible for you to share your screen?
which one, the one you sent to me?
Um, yeah, or is it, are you commenting on the one on the internet that I sent to you? The translation by Venerable Sujato, is that the one you are using?
Yes, I'm using the one you sent me.
Okay, now I'm gonna share it then for people because
Okay,
I have it as
fine.
well. So let me do that so people can look at it at the same time as we are going through. Okay, there we go. Can
Okay.
everybody see?
Yes, I can see it now.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Uh, so only when one grasp it, cling to it, uh, then what one sees is insight of rising and falling, rising and falling, rising and falling. When something is rising and falling, the person, you can see when form exists, because of the grasping forms and insisting on form, insisting on form, the view arises. The self is neither happy nor suffering and healthy after death. This uh, notion, this belief, arises only when a person grasp it or insist upon it. If the person does not, grasp or insist on it, this notion of self, in the first place, the notion of self does not exist. When the notion of self does not exist, there is also, whether it is happy or unhappy, does not also exist in this life or even after death. So the question is grasping, holding, upadana, abhinivesa, upadana, uh, dukkha. Therefore, as it is impermanent, unsatisfaction, and so forth, while one is paying attention, one can see it vanishing, disappearing right away under his nose. And then there is no room for one to have the view that it is happy or unhappy, because there is nothing to be happy or unhappy. So that is why Buddha asked the question, what do you think mendicants or monks, in Pali it's called bhikkhus, form is permanent or impermanent? Impermanent, Venerable Sir, but if it is impermanent, is it suffering or unhappiness? Happiness, suffering, Venerable Sir. Then, but if it is impermanent, suffering, and perishable, is it fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, I am this is not myself. No, Venerable Sir. So this is with regard to the form. Same goes with feeling, perception, thought and consciousness. So Sujato used the word choices, but traditional other translation is called volitional formations and consciousness. When the all impermanent, unsatisfactory and disappearing, there is no any entity that can be happy or unhappy, or neither happy nor unhappy. That's what it means. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Yes. Let me go to the chat right now. Okay. So the first question is about tanha kata upajamana. Upajati kata nivisamana nivisati. When this craving arises, where does it arise? When it settles down, where does it settle? So the first part of the question is when this craving arises means when the craving arises for the object, which is from the sense itself to the volition independent origination. So the
Yeah.
question is this correct?
Yes, for the craving arises only when one thinks this is pleasing uh, and agreeable. When one sees an object or hear a sound, smell a smell, taste something, and touch something, and think something, if the person thinks this is pleasant and agreeable, only then craving arises. If person does not think this is pleasing or pleasant or agreeable, then the craving does not arise. So as the notion of pleasantness arises, along with that craving also, is seeped into it. and sneak into it, and then it spreads all over the mind. If the person does not think this is agreeable or disagreeable, neither craving nor resentment arise in the mind to pervade the mind. You see, in when I gave the talk the other day, I said the pretty things themselves are not uh, the problem. Pretty things themselves remain the same. But it is our thought, our thinking that it is pleasant can create craving. So, especially noble disciples, one who train oneself in the practice of mindfulness, uh, just as we heard in Daruchirya, Bhaya Sutta, Dittha Dittha Mattam, once we see something, just become aware of seeing the particular action, not any other thing associated with the action. Hearing, just limit it to hearing itself. Smelling, tasting, touching, and so forth, uh, become aware of them as they arise, and then that instant they pass away. That kind of mental training uh, helps the person not to cling to anything. Okay?
Thank you. The second part of the question was when it settles down. So I guess you already touched on that. When the craving repeatedly arises in vitakka, the initial thought, or vichara, sustained thought.
Yes, that is the nature of craving.
Mhm.
Craving is called pono bhavika, nandi raga sagata, tatra tatra vinandini. That means craving arises here and settles. Next moment, when another object arises, the craving arises there and then settles. And so forth, it keeps moving from moment to moment, object to object, and that is the nature of craving. The Buddha called it yayam tanha pono bhavika nandi raga sagata tatra tatrabhinandini. The craving uh, uh, arises here, and a person become obsessed with the desire, with the pleasantness, and then it disappears. Then it is tatra tatra pono bhavakan nandi raga sagatan. Nandi means pleasing, raga means attachment, clinging. So when one pleases with something, immediately along with that, craving arises, holding on to it, gluing to it, attaching to it. And then when that object disappears, then craving holds on to another object, like monkey jumping from one branch to another, leaving the branch that he was holding before, let it go, and then hold on to something else. Craving is like that. And this is because of the nature of dependent origination. It dependently arises and dependently vanishes. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is about a Pacceka Buddha. There's two parts to this. One is, can you explain the qualities of a Pacceka Buddha? And then the other question is a Pacceka Buddha exempt from what we learned yesterday in the sutta? I guess the person means the training that is necessary to attain stream entry. Is it somebody that's spontaneously enlightened? Can you explain what such a sage is?
Pacceka Buddha, he is very much like the Buddha. Only difference is that he cannot teach Dhamma because in samsara he has not trained himself to teach, to share what he knows. I think the other day in my talk, I mentioned even yesterday that if we uh, learn and become generous of the knowledge that we have and share it with others, that helps us to build up the habit of sharing. Pacceka Buddha has not developed that habit of sharing, and therefore he is has full knowledge, but and in samsaric terms, not sharing Dhamma is blameworthy. Is blameworthy does not mean that's a sin. That doesn't mean that the person goes to uh, animal realms and hellish condition, but that limits the person's sharing Dhamma. Pacceka Buddha would simply say, uh, when somebody offers something, ichitam patitam tuyam, kipameva samijjatu, sabbe purantu sankappa, chandopanna rasiyata. Only that said, may all your wishes and expectation be fulfilled, just like the moon full, just like the full moon day moon. Moon is full. Similarly, your mind will be charged with merit. That's all he says. A very short. Ichitam patitam tuyam. Whatever you wish and expect, Kipameva samijjatu may be fulfilled quickly. Chando panarasi, just like full moon on full moon night. That's all he says, and no explanation. Uh, and therefore, uh, Pacceka Buddha has not trained himself to be a teacher or to share Dhamma, to become generous with his knowledge and sharing with others. That's the difference. Otherwise, he is fully enlightened.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Uh-huh.
The next question is, what do you think of Jesus Christ? Is he considered a bodhisattva? What do you think? And the person is saying if it's okay to talk about this, please talk about it.
I think he is a bodhisattva in a sense because he was very compassionate, full of loving friendliness, and he was very generous and so on. And therefore, in our belief, uh, he can be a bodhisattva. Uh, and Jesus Christ came to this world 600 years after the Buddha, and he might have learned the Dhamma during that. That was the period Dhamma was spreading very quickly, like wildfire, and that was the time he was born. And perhaps he might have. There are various interpretation of his disappearance and staying away until he was, I think, 29 or 30, running from place to place and so forth. And some believe that he was in some area where Buddhism was practicing. So he must have learned and then returned and began to teach the Dhamma in his own way. So anyway, he can be a bodhisattva in our belief. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, what is your favorite English translation of the word sila and why?
Sila is virtue, moral behavior, that which uh, protects one from falling into unwholesome behavior. That is sila. General translation is morality. Sila, samadhi, panya. Morality, concentration, and wisdom. This is how they are translated into, I mean, this word is translated into English. I think virtuous or moral behavior is a good translation because that you remember in the Nagarupama Sutta we discussed earlier, simile of a fortress. Number one is sila, the firm moral behavior, we can say easily. It is just like the fun of the word, I must say, sealant. When there is a crack, you use some sealant to seal it off so that there will not be any more leak. Similarly, the sealer prevents unwholesome things from entering the mind when we practice sila. So moral behavior would be, or virtuous behavior would be good translation.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, isn't craving a response to unpleasant feelings as well? Craving not to have, not to be.
Oh, yes. Yes, craving certainly is for, you cannot say response to unpleasant feeling. A craving can cause unpleasant feeling when you do not get it surely. Um, Craving for not getting what you want can create suffering. That's what the Buddha said, not to get what one wants, suffering. And then, if we put it the other way around, one can argue if getting what one wants is happiness, I would say no, because not getting what one wants is suffering. Even to get what one wants is suffering. Why is that? Because when you got something, it doesn't stay with you permanently. What you get is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent is suffering. Yada nityanta dukkam, whatever is impermanent is suffering. You never get something which is permanent. So even impermanent things, when you don't get it, you are unhappy. When you get impermanent things, you are happy, unhappy, happy, suffering, because this these are what you got, and then it's changing. These are two tragedies in the world, in life. One is not to get what one wants, and the other is to get what one wants. Both are suffering. So, uh, underneath all this is craving. As Buddha said very, very wisely, craving is the cause of suffering. No matter in what shape and color and size it comes, craving is the cause of suffering. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. The next question is, what is your pick of the 20 or so most important suttas?
You see, there are my Alagadupama Sutta is very wonderful discourse. Uh, it is difficult to pick only one because Madhupindika was so good, Ratavinisa was so good, so many discourses, and Satipatthana Sutta, Anapanasati Sutta, Girimananda Sutta, Sabbasava Sutta, Vitakasanta Sutta, Bhayavarava Sutta, so forth. There are so many, and it is difficult to, yeah, all these are good suttas that I like very much. Yes, I can give you the whole list later on, okay?
Yeah, maybe we can, maybe you can send it to me and I can post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question is, okay. Um, about a verse in Pali, so I'm gonna try and pronounce it. Yo tassa eva tanhaya asesa viraga nirodho kago patinisago muti analayo. What is the difference between viraga, nirodho, kago, and patinisago?
Okay. Tannakayo Rago Nirodho Chago Patinisago Muti Analayo. That is Yo Tassayeva Tannaya Asesa Viraga Nirodho Chago Patinasago Muti Analayo. Asesa Viraga Tassaya Tannaya Asesa Viraga. Viraga means gluing, holding. Viraga means not holding. That is if we were to use a metaphorical explanation, that is raga means gluing, viraga means drying the glue and separating it, disconnecting. Nirodha means cessation. Niruddha. Chaga means giving up. Chaga. Chaga means generosity or giving up. Patinissaga means abandoning deliberately. Mutti, liberation. Analayo, alaya means craving. Analaya means not craving, not tanna. These are actually nuance of the same word tanha. Tanha and cessation. Asesa viraga. Asesa means without remainder. Viraga disappearing. Nirviraga is abandoning. Nirodha, cessation. Chaga, giving up. Patinisaga, abandoning. Mukti, liberation. Anayo, not clinging. That means asesa, without having a string attached. Let go means let go, no regret uh, for letting go. So these are uh, almost synonymous with giving up. Okay?
Thank you, Bhante. I don't see any additional questions in the chat right now.
Okay. I think you are right now. We are sort of running short of time. Also, you asked several good questions. You asked about Pacheco Buddha and whether Jesus Christ was Bodhisattva, English translation of virtue, and craving response to unpleasant feelings, and so forth. Sense of Dhamma, the yes, Dhamma Sutta is the sutta that we discussed yesterday. And so I think it's a good time to end this session of answering questions. And we have full half an hour to meditate.
Okay.
Okay?
I can share the screen, Bhante.
All right. Very good. We have, this only partly we share, partially. Other part is not there. Let me,
Can you see the screen?
I can see only one part, but the whole screen is not here. The other day you sent me the whole screen.
Yeah.
Let me, okay. This is the whole screen. This one.
Yes.
Can you see that?
I'm sharing right now.
Okay.
The screen, yeah.
Okay, can everybody see it?
Yes, Bhante, we can.
Yes, Bhante. Yes.
All right. Let us focus our mind on this metta recital. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere, neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate all the world, a heart of boundless living friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision Removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay, let us uh, meditate now. By means of these meritorious deeds, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Bhavana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings reside in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. With this method recital, we share our merits with all beings. May all those who are in hospitals taken care of by doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs, may they all recover soon and attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all the doctors, nurses, hospital staffs who are taking care of these people, sacrificing their comfort, even risking their own life, may they also find time to practice Dhamma, practice meditation, and liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who have lost their loved ones, as we mentioned earlier, be liberate themselves from that grief, understand the nature of Dhamma, and may they all attain liberation from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in various trouble spots, poverty-stricken, discrimination, and war zones, and so forth, may they all be free from fear, tension, anxiety, and so forth. May they all liberate themselves from samsaric suffering. May all those who are in the northern direction, northeastern direction, eastern direction, southeastern direction, southern direction, southwestern direction, western direction, northwestern direction, and up and down below, be all well, happy, and peaceful. May they all find liberation and attain Nibbana and end samsaric suffering. With this metta wish, friends, we want to end this session today, and we see you again maybe next Saturday.
Yes, Bhante.
Okay.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante. Thank you, Chaturi.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu.
Sadhu,
Everyone.
Many blessings to you and the Sangha, Bhante.
Okay, Teruvan Saranai.
Iwan Sarana.